What would you like? Oh, good heavens. There's actually some champagne. I wonder where that came from. Would you like a glass?
I'd love one. I had no idea Banks had become so...
Loving and caring. Well, we had to change people's perception, didn't we? Good business. Mark you, George, sometimes it works the other way round. Good business follows from people's desire to be loving and caring, if you follow. You know, I'd rather be out of work myself than the cause of homelessness and unemployment to others. There are still some banks, you know. But we are in this world to help each other. Why else? Christ, Buddha, Muhammad, Aristotle, Plato, Hegel, Kant, even the poor discarded Karl would all agree on that one point. I mean, what would have been the good? The good of my not trying to help you, George.
I can't tell you how grateful. It's been such a terrible time for me, you see, these past few hours.
Tell me.
My wife's left me. For another man.
Oh, George.
You see, what happened? Bernard, isn't it?
Bernie, really.
Well, what happened, Bernie, is I went to meet her at our usual restaurant. She sort of summoned me.
George, why not go back to the beginning? The whole story.
Yes. You're right. But what is the whole story, Bernie, when you come to it? The whole story of anybody's life.
Well, it's a story of love, isn't it? And need. And love's failure, needs failure. Is your mother still alive, for instance?
No. No, I got her into a home. She's gaga.
Oh, then she is alive.
What? Oh, yes, technically speaking, but in every other respect.
And your father?
Died when I was 6. Think of suicide.
You think?
He was found hanging by his neck in the cellar. My mother always claimed it was accidental. It was before. Do it yourself.
You're thinking of something quite different, aren't you? Not of your mother and father at all.
I'm thinking of my wife, Bernie. My Sally. Of our life together. All our years together.
And you've always known you've loved her, have you?
Oh, yes. From the moment I saw her. We were at college, you see, both reading English. We shared the same tutorials. What was it you asked me?
Whether you've always known you've loved her.
No. At the beginning, it was her knees, you see, and her chin, and the way her hair. And then for years after, while we had our child Betsy and lived our different lives, I think I forgot. I forgot, Bernie.
And when did you remember that you loved her?
Today. At lunchtime. When I saw her getting into the car with that... And he's just at the beginning, isn't he? They're at the beginning of their love. And perhaps he won't forget. He'll keep at it.
You see, George?
I don't know how to love. Except at the beginning. And until it's too late. It's true. True. And dreadful. Isn't it, Bernie? Can I have some more champagne, please?
There is one thing more dreadful, George.
What, Bernie?
Not even to begin and end in love.
But what is love? What is love if, first of all, you don't even have to try to do it because looking at knees and chins and all that does it for you? And then you go for years and years and years without knowing you're doing it, and then you suffer so much because you realize you've been doing it without knowing it because you've lost it. What is that, Bernie? Why that infliction? Why, Bernie, why? Why can't love leave us alone? Why can't it? What's the point, Bernie? The point? Tell me. Please, please. Why suffer a loss when for all these years you haven't even noticed the having? Why? Bernie, why?
Because then you're reminded that you have a soul, George. You didn't love in order to lose. You lost in order to love.
What kind of bank manager are you, Bernie?